Oh, it is midday. It is midweek. That means you are right here with your two favorite paranormal besties, Rob and Sara. I have the ick today. I
You are
have the ick
icky.
today.
Yeah, you're
And
sick.
I'm a little icky, but I didn't want to miss Wednesday because it is truly one of our favorite parts of our week and of the network. We love connecting with each and every one of you. Hi Rob.
Hi. And I did. I tried to talk her out of doing this today because she's not feeling well, but she said no. She refused to not make it. So here we are.
I refuse to say no, but I really haven't worked this morning. I have been resting and doing all the things that I should be doing. So yeah, this is just that time of year, right? It's fall, the weather's changing, and the ick starts to show itself. And I thought I could maybe miss it, but I didn't miss it. I got it. I got smacked with
You
it.
got it. Yeah, I figured I would be sick after, a rainy last weekend outdoors, but
Yeah,
so far I've been okay. I wasn't feeling 1,000%. Uh,
yeah.
but I'm here.
Drink
And
your water.
I'm not sick like you.
Yeah. Take your emergency. Take your emergency. You're not sick like me, but
No, everybody
it's all
tries
good.
to get me to take things, and I don't, which is why I don't get. I'm not gonna say it because I'll jinx it.
Yeah, don't even say that. Don't even just
I
don't.
can't. I cannot be
Um
sick at all this month.
no, we have to stay healthy. I have to get healthy for next weekend. You have to stay healthy. You've got too many things in a row. So, but before we get chatting about all things Get Haunted, let's say hello to our amazing side pieces. Um, First we have Stacy. We have Stacy here today. Hi, Stacy, Professor T in the house. We are freestyling today. We always freestyle. We're pretty much just all freestyling. And no, this isn't why the blondes weren't on Monday. Always want to be respectful on 9/11. I'm never really sure how to handle that day, and it just didn't feel like a day to go on and be entertaining. So we decided to keep our silence and show some respect. So that's why we were off on Monday. There is the beautiful Brittany getting ready as well to be at a Paracon. Danny in the house. Hi, Danny. There's Mr. Mike Cronin, Two Brothers Extreme. How are you doing? That's right. Happy Hump Day. Sandra Lynn. There she is. Hey, you. Bree must be on her lunch, checking it out here on midday. We do say use your lunch break, your smoke break, or your mental health day. There's Kaylee. How are you? My Facebook user. Hey to you. That's gonna be somebody from the north. Hey guys. I feel like that's such a northern thing to say.
All
Hey
right.
guys.
Here, she likes to categorize states and things. So I don't know.
I
I've
do.
heard that all over the country, but okay, we'll
Have
give
you?
it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
Kelly.
Maybe. Let us know where you're from.
It's Kelly. It's
uh
Kelly. She's from
oh.
New York.
Okay, she's from New York, then that's perfect. See? There's Kevin, Mr. Martinick. How are you doing? Joe B in the house. There's Joe B. Lisa, one of our biggest supporters right there. She finds new and creative ways to show off her Get Haunted love, and we just love her for that. It
Yeah,
is so
she's
much
a
fun to see what
sweetheart.
she comes up with. There is the host, one of the hosts of Paranormally Blonde, and the dream interpreter herself.
And also West Coast and a hi guys. So thank you, Dee Dee, for helping me keep my theory afloat.
Uh-huh. Is
Like
that Kelly saying
everybody,
she's right?
yeah, but everybody that lives in the north or northeast wants it to be their thing. Dee Dee's West Coast, and she just threw a hi guys. So whatever.
But Dee Dee's from New York. Many people don't
Oh
know this.
no, I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Thank you.
shit.
There's P3S in the house. Steven, thank you. I'm working on feeling better. There's Joe up. Um, make sure. Yeah, so you might have seen on Friday we had just a little live gathering right here on Get Haunted, where Rob, Kevin, and Lori
Oh,
ushered us through.
I
You
couldn't
didn't even
figure out what
remember,
you're.
did
No, I
you?
couldn't even. I was like, what the hell is she talking about?
Yeah, you ushered us through the Warrens Occult Museum, and we all got to organically watch you All right, we watched you organically walk through that museum. Like there, you did not go in before the live. There was no pre checking it out or seeing what. So everything that we watched together and experienced together. And there were a lot of there were a lot of reactions on the side, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even how we ended up there, the invite. Prior to getting there, we did stop. I visited Anna Lorraine's grave sites. And then next thing you know, you're there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And Tony had a lot going on that night. But next thing I know, I'm standing in Anna Lorraine's house, which nobody lives in. Wade's caretaker. It doesn't look like it's changed much, right? So, but you're there. It's sort of the mecca of the paranormal,
mm-hmm.
especially for some people. So it was surreal to say the least, right? And time just started whipping
Yeah,
by. And next thing I knew, right? Because I think we had discussed, all right, we're going to get sort of the raw, the anticipation
yeah,
of going in.
yeah,
But people were talking, and next thing I know, it was like 7:45, and I'm like, Lori, you got to get set up because we didn't really have this thought out. And
yeah,
then the next thing I know, Tony's like, all right, we're going in. And I'm just like,
yeah,
oh my God. Right. And prior to, there was some blessings and holy water and words of caution. Don't bump into shit. Don't touch
yeah,
things. And you're just like, so you got that on there. You've got the anticipation. You've got all the stories that I knew, right? And then you've got the tremendous pressure of people watching this. And then next thing I know, I'm there. I'm Tony's talking, and it's happening. It's just
yeah,
happening. So the build up to it, being in there, knowing you're in there with literally, you guys saw, right, how many, there's
mm-hmm.
hundreds and hundreds of artifacts. Um, I don't know anything about most of them or the vast majority of them. So you're like, you're just looking around. I'm trying to keep Tony in frame. You're holding the phone and you're like trying to
Yeah,
pay attention to that, pay attention to what's happening, not touch things because that place is smaller than it looks. And I'd been around. I met Annabelle last year at the Warren Paracon, but I'm in a giant ballroom, right? And she's
mm-hmm.
she's got a rope around her, and I couldn't walk up to the case if I wanted to.
Right,
But here I am, in her domicile and in her location, and she's sitting right there. She's right freaking in front of you. It's a lot for, there's the psychological piece.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I will tell you that there is a vibe in that place, and that
mm-hmm.
I would
Mm-hmm.
definitely say is probably not part of the psychological buildup. It
Yeah,
felt different than anywhere I've ever been. It's not like a location. It's not like, Missouri State
mm-hmm.
Penitentiary. It's different. There's just something different about it.
Well, my opinion as an outsider and getting to watch you do that, I sort of would assume, you're talking about this is sort of like a summary of paranormal in one small building.
Yeah.
It's all the stories you've ever heard in the paranormal, all the things that you have heard, theory wise. And so now you're in this location where, you're in this location sort of not trapped, but where stories, beliefs, right, experiences are all under one roof. You can't not feel that energy, whether you believe or don't believe. You have to feel something that's palpable. And I believe you even used that word while we were doing the live. You're
Oh,
like, it is.
it's palpable. Like you
Mhm.
can you can cut the tension with a knife, and
Mhm.
crazy, crazy respect for Wade, Dan, Chris, everybody that works there, Rick, that goes in and
Mhm.
tends to these things, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't, honest to God, don't think I could do it. Prior to, um, they have a security system in there. They have cameras for at least 4 cameras, the ones I saw, and standing
Mhm.
there with Lori looking at. That was the only kind of glimpse into the museum that we got was on the security cameras, and we're looking
Mhm.
at the camera that aims at Annabelle, and I see this white kind of mist come down out of the ceiling, and then it like does this
Yeah.
weird crawl across and off frame, and even the cameras have motion tracking, the DVR, and it was lighting up, and Lori just looks at me. She's like, did like it was, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I just saw that shit too. It was not recording, unfortunately, but that was it. I was like, okay, I just saw something. To me, I don't think it was a spider
Yeah.
web. I don't think it was. It looked weird, and I'm like, and it was right over Annabelle. I'm like, well, fuck, we're going in
There we
there,
go.
yeah, So yeah,
Yeah,
it
I want
was
to go back to a couple comments here because
okay.
Stacy's not alone here. One, before we get to these questions and these comments, one, I want to state Tony Spera was the hospitality that I felt coming through the live. Who are we? And the way he told the stories, um, it was so welcoming, and I felt like it was kind of like hanging out with somebody we've always hung out with.
I gotta admit, look, it's Tony. Was I nervous when
Yeah.
he was showed up? Absolutely, right. He's sort of it was kind of like the Godfather of the paranormal popping
Yep.
in, and I'm standing in their place, right? And then we got
Yeah.
this invite, and he came in like we're old friends, like, hey, Rob, Lori, like he knew everybody's names on the way in. Um, there was
Yeah.
zero, you know,
Pretension.
yeah, any of that. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
exactly like that. And the longer we all chatted, the more it did. It felt like just old friends
Hmm.
get together. It was
Yeah.
really, really cool. So that part, made I think going in a
Yeah.
little less nerve wracking, right? Because I'm like, well, Rob, you don't want to F this up, which I thought I did at the end. We talk about that, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, really, really, really nice people.
Yeah. It came through, just sitting and getting to talk to Dan and Wade. So comfortable. They've been so kind and gracious, and welcoming. And then Tony, it was not what I thought. It was so much more welcoming and humbled, and the way he shared the stories, and let's just put it out there, like, he's not a busy guy. He had a lot on his plate, in particular that night, and he still took the time out for us.
He did.
And that is just so greatly appreciated. So to Tony, thank you so much for making that experience. Um, you know, not just for those that were there, but everybody on the side, they were captivated by him talking about these stories. And so it kind of goes right here, Stacy. I'm not gonna lie, I think everybody was right there with you, Stacy. And Rob, you even had said that, who wants to get in their car after that? Like, who even wants to drive their car after hanging out with Annabelle?
Right. So, I will admit, getting in the car and getting out of there. I don't know what it was at first, but I was, and Kevin and Lori can attest, I was way out of sorts. I was
Mhm.
driving like aimlessly at points, not even listening to my GPS. I ended up going entirely the wrong way, which added about 15 or 20 minutes. We had about a 2-hour drive up to our
Mhm.
Airbnb, which was almost as scary as as the museum. Um, and I was worried that
Yeah.
for a couple of reasons, not a little less about if Annabelle was going to, grab the steering wheel. It was more about
Right, right.
if I do have a problem here,
Hmm.
will I then automatically attribute it to Annabelle and
Hmm.
restart this this pattern that I had been down that road once before. So, and more importantly, not more important, is equally as important is what all my friends like, dude, you can't do this. So,
Yeah,
like, dude, if I have an accident now, like
yeah,
this is
yeah.
really, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
And they were all concerned on this side, not just the Annabelle aspect, but just I think in general being in this location with things. And I want to touch on D Hoot's question, and she's opening this up to everybody. So this is not really for us to answer, and this would actually make a very interesting show. Again, being there with so many different artifacts and items and articles of the paranormal that have very big um attachments, however you want to use that word, stories attached to it, beliefs attached to it, actual things attached to it, they have attachments. So in keeping them in these containers, and I've always, we've said this, what is it about these containers that suddenly can contain something that can seem to move through dimensions or seem to create such chaos? But in this, does beliefs does that also sort of contain, I mean, it could work both ways, right?
Right.
You believe it enough that it's in there. Does that sort of stun something to stay where you put it?
Right. Yeah, and we don't, obviously none of us have that answer, right? You just gotta, and here's what I'll tell you, D Hoot. When you're standing 2 feet from that thing, from that
Yeah.
case and that doll, you're hoping that shit is true, right? That okay, this case is keeping her in there. Like
Yeah.
whether you believe it, don't believe it, you want that story to be true. Trust me.
Yeah.
You're just like, just stay there. If she moved, I promise. Like, and Lori in the past has seen her move. If she moved, you probably would have saw me get my ass out of
Gone.
that. It would have been over.
Yeah.
So fortunately, none of that happened. At least not that we saw. Um, yeah. So there was a lot. Now, in the following 2 days, there were some weird things that Sarah knows about, which we can get to later. But yeah, you just hope those cases do their job, and you got to
Hmm.
kind of trust
Hmm.
trust it.
So when you were sitting there with your back to Annabelle, did you? And I think this is what's hard though. You're kind of touching on it. I think it's hard to know how much of it is, are you psyching yourself up to feel something because you don't want something like to be that true, or is it that you're really feeling that energy, or is it a culmination of it? I mean, how do you feel about that?
So listen, I mean, there wasn't the vibe remained pretty consistent throughout. When I had no idea that Dan was going to leave us down there, to do our thing. I didn't. That I
Right.
will admit that when it was just the three of us, I got a little bit like more cautious, right? At least I knew
Yeah.
it's some people with some expertise there. But
Yeah.
sitting there with my back to, like, if you don't know me, it is something that I do when I'm kind of uncomfortable. Is I'll turn my back to it when it comes to the paranormal. I've done it at the Shanley. I've done it at a few different places. I guess it's if I can't see it, it's not bothering me. Here's what I'll tell you about Annabelle, at least, and the shadow doll and the friggin' satanic figure. Like, you start looking at their eyes and you can't help but feel like they're looking back. So
Right.
sitting facing away from her
Hmm.
was for me the best move.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, oh, that's a good question, Adam. I like this. So, out of all the things that you did see there in person, was there one that stood out that you kind of were like, this really? And I want this question for those of you that did share in this experience with us. Please let us know as well, because I had one that I am obsessed with right now. I can't get enough of it. So you guys on the side also share what item or artifact did you see that really caught your attention as well? But for you, Rob, what was the one thing in there that went, okay?
So, looking backwards, right? There's two areas that we spent the most time in. They're also where some of the more famous. So Annabelle being the most famous, right?
Right.
There's a lot of energy right there. And Adam, it's a hard question to answer because while we focused on 3, 4, 5 of the big items, there's hundreds,
Yeah.
hundreds.
Yeah.
But then this shadow dollar, if you noticed on the video, you've got the satanic idol, which I didn't like last year, and the friggin' shadow doll right next to it.
She's my favorite. I'm obsessed with her, Brittany. I'm
Yeah,
obsessed
which
with her.
I'd seen both. So, it was kind of two different areas. Now the fire doll was over by Annabelle. So you've got these two spots that we spent the most time in. And I think I've said this to somebody around Annabelle. I felt more like, all right, if anything's at stake right here, it's my soul, right? Where over by the shadow doll, it was more of a I don't feel safe kind of feeling. I don't know how to. And one felt very spiritual, and one felt very physical, if you will.
So you felt you weren't safe with the shadow doll, and I felt safety in the shadow doll. I felt that she protect her more than she's a harmer.
Yeah, I don't know what she is, but where I was standing, which was in front of the satanic idol, like you could see her she's got her head planted, and I just couldn't. So I don't know what it is. Now the devil mask that Kevin's talking about is on the opposite side of the shadow doll. So I don't know, right?
Yeah.
All I know is that it's a vibe that you can't escape, right? Again, it's kind of small, so you're like, but you are surrounded. So Adam, I wish I could answer it. I mean, look, if somebody offered me 10 grand to go spend the night in there,
yeah,
I'd say no. 50,
really?
I'd probably do it for 50, but 10, nah, I probably wouldn't do it. Like alone, I don't think I could. It's that funky. But again, what now? It was sort of some of the after.
Yeah.
The
Me too,
following
Adam.
days that got me going, all right, like shit, this could be getting weird now. Yeah, you guys say that. It's easy to say that if you haven't been there. I used to think that way too. I know that walking in there, and I'm pretty sure Kevin and Lori can attest similarly that it changes things for you. Right. Indeed, the temptation to touch things is there. There's some cool looking objects and artifacts, and you're like, I just want to feel what that feels like or move it. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was, I think there was your experience with Kevin and Lori being in person, and I think people were truly having some very personal experiences on the side. So it is a location that can transcend time and space there. People, I don't know if you guys caught, don't know if you have watched, but We the Haunted this past Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, Trevor sort of went over some of his experiences watching and how it brought him to some past dream sequences he's had. And I felt like he was really vocal on the side about what he was feeling, what he was, his anxiety was kicked up. He was kind of having visceral reactions. And then to have those moments to be like, to have it bring you to some past experiences that aren't connected, by the way. Well, not obviously anyways, right? I think he's starting to maybe connect some dots a little bit, but if you watched his show, it was to me, and I haven't, I need to let him know. And I know, Rob, you had mentioned this to me because I was telling you, like, there was a moment there watching him share this. It was almost as if he was there physically with you.
Yeah.
His experience just watching this location was so, I felt it was relatable. It was so honest, and his approach and the shares that he gave. Um, that location means and what's in that location means so much to so many people.
Well, yeah, and probably for the better, right? I was doing the TikTok, so
Right.
I couldn't see comments. I couldn't, and it's honest to God, it probably worked out better that I didn't see some of these comments. I
Right.
don't know what the hell I'm doing with TikTok. All I saw were things just coming up
Flying.
anyway, right?
Yeah.
And normally with StreamYard, I will watch comments. So
Right.
not knowing that viewers were also going through,
Hmm.
some emotions, was probably better, and probably ended up making for a better live experience for me, for sure. Watched. But yeah, look, I mean, the thing, I don't know. It was cool. It was an experience, probably a once in a lifetime thing. Being fortunate enough to have worked with Dan and
Hmm.
Wade, um,
Hmm.
and get the invite,
Hmm.
it was just tremendous. And to answer Joe Epps' question, was there anything that gave off a positive vibe in there? I would say it was Wade. That's about it,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
not that Dan, but Wade is Wade, right? He's got that whole
Yeah.
personality. Dan managed to scare the shit out of me at the end, but Wade always has this relaxing, kind
Yeah.
of demeanor about him. Not that Dan didn't make me feel good, not that
Yeah.
Rick didn't make me feel good, but Wade was there, and I'm like, Dan, you move this doll around. Like,
Hmm.
Wade just had a different vibe. So, but no, there was nothing in that museum that made me go, oh, I wouldn't mind taking this home. Just didn't happen.
No. And everybody, please send out big, huge birthday wishes to our fabulous Wade, because today is his birthday. And we love Wade. We had him last Wednesday, so Wednesdays with Wade. Last Wednesday night we had him live. This Wednesday's his birthday, so happy birthday, Wade. We hope your day is special. Um, yeah, it was such a great experience. Not really, I don't have that. I know it's weird. I'm sure I lose some points in the paranormal for this, but I don't follow a lot of the Warren stories or the Warren. I just don't know much about it. I didn't know much about the Conjuring House. I know people can say you're full of shit. I don't. I didn't until I met you. Don't watch the movies. Um, so I didn't have that sort of thought process in my head.
Yeah.
So to be able to go in there and really understand, but I do understand the gravity of what they have created in the paranormal and where their status as pioneers, that you can't get away from. Love them, hate them, like them, whatever. The pioneer status is there, and so the grandeur of just seeing the pictures of you afterwards eating at their dinner table, um having Dan, Wade, Rick, and Tony, just again the hospitality.
So, I
I
mean,
literally just sit there going, "What's happening right now?"
yeah, me too, right? Because we finish up down there. Dan kicks the door open at the end, which I'm sure everybody loved. Um,
They did.
Scared me to death, right? That's where, I think there was some confusion about my asking to record, which we won't even get into. I was like, fuck, I just messed up so bad. But then we're back in the house, and Wade whipped up this amazing dinner, and they're like, you guys sit. They're standing while I'm like, no, sit. They're like, nope, you're our guests. And we're just eating an amazing dinner at Ed and Lorraine's table,
Yeah.
just hanging out and talking, and looking at a lot of weird parallels, especially with Dan and myself. And
Hmm.
Rick and I kind of have some similar views on things. It was just,
Yeah.
I don't know. All of a sudden it was like 11:30 and I'm like, shit, we got to go because we had a 2 hour drive. I could have stayed and talked with those guys all night. They're just really good people. And just fortunate.
Yeah, I love the pictures Rick put up of you guys eating dinner. And it's kind of all over. If you guys haven't seen it, I believe they show up on Rob's feed because I believe you're tagged. But um it's interesting because it's kind of on your face, Rob. It's a little bit of like, what?
Like, you're just sitting there, right? You're just like, I'm here and people are
Yeah.
being really nice and this food is amazing. And uh,
Did,
no, Judy
did
was
you
sick that night.
feel doing this with Kevin and Lori? I would have to assume, Rob, having this experience, um, that creates a little bit of a tight bond. That's got to create that's a pretty unique situation. This is not something, Trevor, we were just talking about you, buddy. Um, this is not something you just go, hey guys, let's get a couple tickets and let's go hit up the museum. This was an invite. This was something that was such an honor and so humbling, and you guys got to do this together. Um, did you feel like it created a kind of a unique bond there? I mean, to sit in all this stuff with two other souls and just being like, holy shit, because first time for them as well.
Well, yeah, and it became sort of the topic of,
Always good,
the
Trevor.
next 2 days. We did. We had to stop and take stock in what we had just experienced the night before a couple of times, right? And then we, to go from there to
Yeah.
end up, at the Ocean State Paracon the next day, having dinner with Cody, Jen, Andrea, hanging out with Andrea, Jacqueline. The whole weekend was kind of surreal, right? It was really,
You kind
really
of had the Warren universe weekend.
all in one spot. Yeah. I mean, it was
Yeah.
pretty well. And Dan actually showed up, I think, I want to say Saturday. Yeah, Saturday he came because Sunday
Mm-hmm.
was um, the rainy day. And, Dan was at the Paracon for a little while. So seeing him again was cool. Um, yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
we
So
did.
let's talk.
It did, I think, create a different kind of bond. Like, we all love each other, but, that's like going to combat, right, with certain people. And then you come back and there's just something there that you experience together that it's unbreakable, unshakable. So it was cool.
It's something you guys shared that even if you can't articulate it to us, and maybe it sounds like I'm overstating this, and I apologize to those of you who might think it's being dramatized. I'm not. I think it's one of those scenarios where you can't probably describe exactly what it is to be there, and so you have this with two souls doing it together for the first time. That's big to me. That's really big. It's something that I'm so proud of, watching the three of you do this. And um, you know I don't know, it was cool to witness, to watch, to share it live with everybody. It was a really cool thing. It really, Lori just being the badass she is, just walking in there, and Kevin is our silent badass. He just, Kevin, he's just one of the coolest dudes on the planet, but he's so quiet, but there he is, just going
Yes,
right in there.
but
You guys just,
and I was, that one of the funnier and more, I don't know if it was coincidental or not, but both times that Lori had something happen, I happened to be
yeah,
looking at her, right? Like she felt like she was being touched or pulled. And Kevin as well. I watched that whole thing go down, where he felt like his shirt was being, so for whatever reason, I was looking at both of them as their experiences
yeah.
occurred, and neither one of them, and it's not like common for them. And for
They're
me,
not, they're not overreactors, no.
and I haven't been scratched in years, right? Like years. It's
Mhm,
been
mhm.
it happened once at the Shanley Hotel and once that I can remember, at least, at Missouri, and it's a
Mhm.
different feeling. It feels more
Yeah.
like a burn than
Yeah.
a scratch.
Being
And
like scratched. Right.
yeah, man, and I love that, and it did. It went away within like an hour or so, and don't know. I don't remember touching myself
Right.
there, and don't know. I don't know how the hell that
Yeah.
happened, but it happened.
Yeah.
Adam, I don't know. You know, I think eventually that's the hope to reopen the museum, but I don't know all the details there.
Yeah. Well, it was truly interesting. And I think one thing, everybody, I know Dee Dee, very excited to hear. So, been there now you went to the Warren, their cemetery, paid them respects and a visit. You're now at their home, and now you've spent time in the museum. You've broken bread right there in the Warren home. That sort of bonds you right there, with Dan and Wade and Rick, and the Warrens really. And now you're off to the Ocean State Paracon. Occurrences that you felt, again, is this one of those things like you get a yellow car, so now all you see is yellow cars? But did you have anything weird? I mean, I know you did. I know some of the stories already, but the weird occurrences that you're like, okay, holy shit, what the hell?
Yeah. So we'll start with and to touch on Kevin's point. All right, Leo's feeling like he needs to be on the show, and he needs a haircut. So got us at what I thought was a beautiful Airbnb. Turned out to be one of the scariest places we've ever stayed. There were like doors that lead to these hidden passages and lamps with no bulbs in them, no outlets. Like it just wasn't, I knew we had a problem. Kevin got there before me, obviously, because I was driving the wrong freaking way. But he sent a message like, I'm here and I'm confused. And I'm like, oh boy. So, being that tired, like we couldn't, there
Yeah.
was no way to go find a new hotel. So we kind of braved it, to the point where Kevin put a chair in front of the door so that we would know if somebody came in. What we didn't realize at the time was that there were these other entrances to the apartments. Anyway, that was that. So we slept, got up, went to the con, um, get set up, and Ken DaCosta gave us a really nice spot. Like we were in like a prime spot. It was maybe 10 feet of grass, sidewalk, then a street. So you could see get haunted tent from anywhere. And there's a point where it's like we just hear this enormous crash, and two flatbed like wreckers somehow
Yeah.
they
Didn't
just
see each other.
they just kind of there was an incident. It's like, okay, like for a minute I stood there and they got out and they like picked
Yeah.
up all this shit off the ground and cars were waiting, and then they just kind of got in their trucks and went their own way. And I'm like, that was one of the weirdest things I ever saw. And I'm like, all right, like I'm not giving this one to Annabelle, not yet.
Yeah.
Um, then the next day, someone was crossing the street right there, same exact spot, pretty much. Unfortunately, she passed out, went down. She was out, so I ran over to help, and her leg was busted up pretty good. Which, if you don't know me, there's some things I can't look at. I'm kind of squeamish, so I'm like, oh god. So like trying her son's calling 911, the whole 9 yards. And then others came over. She woke up and passed out again. Cops show up, EMS. So she ends up going to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'm like, all right, like you can't help it, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's 20 feet from us.
Yeah.
Hope this is not why. It was just weird that it happened both days and nearly the
Same spot.
identical spot. So I'm like, well, shit. Like, it was a weird one, right? But she was in the hospital for a few hours and eventually came. She was a vendor at the Paracon. but plus at the same time, we're sitting there with all the people I mentioned, right? Corey and Jen
Right.
in the Conjuring house, the Conjuring mirror is there in the museum. Um, Cody and Satori who do what
Hmm.
they do, Jacqueline, the owner, Andrea, who grew up in the house. So don't know.
Yeah.
But it
You
was,
guys were just like the little perfect storm all right there.
yeah. So I just sat there going, all right, I'm not going to give it power, but it did have me raise my eyebrow once or twice.
Did you, that you can remember, and I'm Kevin, if you're still on the side, I know Lori's not here right now, but did anybody mention dreams or feel they had anything weird dream wise during your weekend there after the museum?
I I actually had nicer dreams, and I don't
Okay.
normally remember them. Kevin seems to be the one that with the dreams.
Oh,
I don't know
interesting.
about this past weekend. I know he was
Okay.
tired because there was a point where I walked by his room and he was passed out with his phone playing a game
Oh,
still, just laying there. I don't like, what do I do here? Um, yeah, it was a little
tuck
hard.
them in.
A little hard to sleep where we were because there were things happening on the outside of the building that were,
Good. Lord.
yeah, not cool. It was a whole thing,
Okay.
but I don't know if
Yeah.
Kevin's still on. He can answer, and I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't recall Lori saying anything about dreams.
Anything. Well, it was just a big weekend. If you guys did follow any of the social media, Rob got some great pictures with some great people in the paranormal. They've all been extremely kind to us. They are your friends, Rob, but they have been extremely kind to the Get Haunted Network. Um, you know, it was just one of those weekends. I know a little bit of a whirlwind for you. You left on Thursday, you got back late Sunday, and Get Haunted is never without something going on or work going on. We never really get a like, whew, okay, rest. Um,
No, no rest. In fact, I'm getting ready to head back out here soon
yeah,
for TerrorCon. One more
yeah.
weird thing, right? The
Oh
morning of
yes,
Saturday morning, the same day that the trucks hit each other. Hey, Austin. Um,
Austin.
um, oh, that's right, Kevin. I did tell you to send them to Dee Dee. My bad. Um,
Do it,
Lori
Kevin.
took. We had some people, and there's
Mhm.
still a story you don't know. I can break it here, actually.
Oh, let's breaking news. Rob has a story he didn't tell me. What the
Yeah, I
hell?
do. I do because it's. I don't know why until I got an email late last night that I can explain. But anyway, Lori took 3 orders. Now I know Square had issues last week, but
Yes.
our orders just vanished and disappeared. We finally got it solved last night. For whatever reason, anything
Yeah.
Lori did that morning just
Yeah.
went away
Oh,
and went
yeah.
into a void somewhere. So they were able to track it down after 4 days. It's there. It's so strange. So, all right. So the story, the breaking news. Kevin knows about this, right? There's a mom and daughter there, and they were there both days. And she came over and she's like, God, this woman started talking. She's like, we've been wanting to come over to this table. Basically, she's like, you remind me of someone in my family. And I'm like, okay. And she brought up a photo, and I looked at it, and I don't think I look like anybody. I barely look like me sometimes. There was a pretty striking resemblance to this person.
Okay.
So this who this family is our descendants of the Arnolds who were the family that was 8 generations at the Conjuring House.
Wait, and you didn't tell me this.
Yeah,
What?
I don't know. I forgot all about it. I'll send you the email, but I did. I for whatever reason didn't think about it. But those two were kind of freaking out because she's like, I just can't believe who you look like. And they pulled it up, and I'm like, that kind of does look like me. It was pretty odd. And that brought me back to something I think Andrea said. I think it was either on her show or not. I don't remember. But she said something to that effect too. And I'm like, what's happening? It was a really weird thing. That happens.
Oh, you're referring when she was on my show?
Maybe she was
Like,
on,
or I
I
should
don't
say the
remember.
blondes. I remember her saying about you somehow having like a connection to being part of that house, right? Like,
Yes, Kevin, you saw that photo? Yeah, we should bring Kevin on. I don't know, Sarah. I just know I don't even know why I didn't think about it until last night. I think it was last night, but I found an email. There was an email waiting for me. She's like, "Hey, just wanted to connect." Um,
thank you, DDC. Yeah, I remember. I do remember. I don't remember the exact words she used, but right, Dee Dee? Like, I do. There is something there that she did say.
yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Don't know. So I was like, "Great." I was like, "Great." I'll find out this weekend.
All right. Well, yeah, that was a big weekend. Starting with getting this amazing tour right there at the Warrens Occult Museum, to have dinner right there, sharing with Dan, Rick, and Wade, making connections. That was a moment to, and I think, if you know Rob, if you know Rob and I, if you know how we talk, that wasn't it wasn't a business deal. That was connections. That was connecting and truly getting to know people. um and that's how it came off, in my opinion, just watching how everybody was interacting on the live, and the pictures after, and the little that I know. Danny and I got to talk to Rob after the live a little bit. He was a little out of it, I will be honest. I think he kept popping back in to Danny, and I were talking after. He kept popping back in, and you almost seemed like you were just looking to put your hand back almost in, I'll use the term, real world a little bit, like you were like reaching out for a, like, okay, just want to touch home base.
Yeah,
um
I
you were a
needed.
little out of it, so I the very first question or thing that Stacy said is, we were concerned too. I mean, it is, you're exhausted, you're tired, it's going from this big emotion to coming down from that. It's a lot to take in.
It was.
It was a big night, Danny. It was. Yeah, I know, Trevor, that's what I was talking about, just so you know. I did reference people to your show last night. I was really captivated with your share. Everything that you were talking about, it was just it was like it's sitting around and just having one of those conversations with somebody where you're like, somebody brought up a deep subject and we were like, yeah, and you just shared. So I want everybody to watch that, because you really touched on some dream situations. And yeah, you did not like the statue from Sandy Hook. That is what sort of, I felt like he really had some of the bigger experiences with.
Yeah.
And you're right, Dehu, maybe a doppelganger, but maybe not.
No, this photo was from the 1800s. This is, yeah, way back. This, I believe,
Yeah,
1800s. So no, they were
yeah.
definitely deceased. It was, I believe, her grandfather or uncle or great uncle. It threw me off. I was just standing there. I
Yeah,
had a hard
yeah.
time with this, to see the emotion, and she got emotional, and to see
Yeah.
that emotion come back. Don't know why this exited my head.
Mhm.
Um, it's got me a little spooked right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
You didn't mention
I
even
didn't
remotely
I
anything
didn't
to
even
me.
freaking
No.
remember it.
He's in big
However,
trouble, mister. Big trouble, mister.
okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, you're not. It just is that is a really big thing, though. That's a big thing that you didn't remember.
I don't understand it. So, but we're gonna have to sit and go through that later, because
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, so having that, then going to the Paracon, and then, sort of coming back, needing to kind of regain some, okay, now back to the grind. And now you're back off to the next Paracon, which is the Terracon in Marlborough, Massachusetts. He's not getting a break. Get Haunted is trying their hand at a paranormal slash horror. Uh,
What?
HORROR. We know me and just saying some of these words. Just get over it. We're going to be at this really cool situation. Listen, this is the longest I've been awake. So everybody, cut me some slack here. But this is going to be a great. It's Terracon. It's not a Paracon. It is a Terracon. It is in Marlborough.
Marlborough. Yeah. Marlborough.
I said.
Hey, before you go forward, I do want to throw Ken DaCosta, Rise Up Paranormal, Ocean State Paracon, Guru, a huge thank you. They were so gracious and so kind. Yeah, he did. He wants to talk to us at some point on their show, Dead Air. Really, really good people. And they treated us so well. For our first time there, we were really treated like kindly, and it was just awesome. So thank you, Ken, and everybody that was there supporting it. So I'm sorry, I mean to.
No, you did. You spoke very highly of Ken, and you said everybody treated Get Haunted so well. So I just wanted to give everybody, just so you guys could kind of see what this is that we will be going to. We have not been a part of something like this before, so you're kind of getting a little bit of everything. It's kind of a new demographic, so to speak, for Get Haunted here. So if you are a lover of scary movies, there are some big hitters here. I mean, first of all, Ray Wise, one of my favorite guys from Dead End, like one of my favorite scary movies on the planet. It's not so much that it's going to scare the crap out of you. It's just one of those iconic movies. I love it. I mean, how can you not love this?
Really looked at this, so wow,
you cool. Haven't? Oh yeah, like look at this. You have like Chris Sarandon. Hello,
who's that?
Chris Sarandon, he's an amazing actor. He was in Fright Night, and it's probably where he was the most handsome ever. It's like his best role as a vampire. It's like, It's amazing. I mean, Sherilyn Finn, like you can't, these guys, like this whole lineup, I can't imagine what it's going to be like to be in sort of the same arena here with some of these people. I think it's kind of a big deal. So yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. So, I already gave Rob the heads up. There's going to be a cool hoodie somewhere here, and I'm going to have.
Yeah, I know. I took a loan out. We'll get you taken care of. Don't worry.
So look at that. The Crypt Keeper. Like, hello. This is so crazy. Like who you're going to be hanging out with. Yeah. So I'm just kind of running through here so you guys can kind of see who's all here. So this is going to be another, kind of long weekend, right? Like this one is a 3-dayer. Let me go back to this. This one is 3 days. This one is kind of it starts Friday from 3 to 9 p.m., Saturday 10 to 7, and Sunday 10 to 5. So, the work never ends, Rob. The work never ends, but we're ready. And we have a beautiful new tent. If you saw the pictures, we have a beautiful new Get Haunted vendor tent, all logoed up, and the blondes are on there. We're so appreciative to that. Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. What else do we got going on, Rob?
Yeah, so we're heading up. I don't know when I'm going up. I got to figure this out. You can set up Thursday and Friday, but we have time on Friday. So I'll probably go late Thursday or super early Friday. And I have to work. I do have to work Saturday night. So
that's right. We also have Conjuring House. That's a sold out event. So here you've spent some time at the Warrens. You met a guest of the Paracon that now feels you look like a descendant of the Conjuring House, and now you're going to the Conjuring House. So what the hell? What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be wild. So let's see what happens. Do you? I think I know Bill saw it on our team on
Hmm.
binding.
Hmm.
Um, that's that. You know their names,
Dee
Sarah.
Dee, help me out. Um, I don't follow them. It's not
I knew
my,
their name yesterday.
yeah, it's
We're
not my
gonna have
shtick. So,
we're gonna have to play that paranormal game one day.
oh, we had,
Um,
yes, there's a new game that Rob won in an auction that is fantastic. I think you guys would love it.
yeah,
We could do a fun little thing like you did the voting game.
yeah, yeah. It's all paranormal based.
Yeah,
Newkirk's.
Newkirk's.
Dana
Thank you.
something 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 Newkirk.
There you go. Dana and something something Newkirk's. Yes, the
Yeah,
Newkirk's. So yes, so this weekend is the TerraCon, all 3 days, plus the Conjuring House thrown in there. So Kevin and Rob will be exhausted, totally exhausted. Then we have the following weekend is another crazy weekend. I'm not sure who planned out September, but they were insane, I think.
yeah. Lori's
Um,
got to get a talking to. September. I'm barely home. I gotta when we're
yeah,
finished here. I gotta make some arrangements for this dog. I gotta figure this out because
yeah,
yeah, we have
just
our.
it's here. I'm gonna put this up too, Rob.
Oh, put
Talk
it up.
while I
Put
put
it
this
up,
up.
yo.
I'm gonna put it up, yo. Okay, we have this little lecture you guys might have seen or heard about that we're going to be doing. Let's see if I can pull that up there. Right there at the Pine Bush UFO Paranormal Museum. Rob has been working really, really hard on this presentation, and I'm going to go in there winging that shit like I always
Yeah.
do because it's the best way for me to present.
No,
It is
no, it
just the
isn't.
best
We
way.
we do need to have a meeting and just make sure we're on the same friggin' page here.
Yes, I know that, but you're like
There's,
you're getting your thoughts together.
there's no script. We have hour and 15 minutes to, and we have to make sure we're a little bit cohesive.
When are we not cohesive?
I don't know.
You're worried. It's okay. It's going to be awesome. And I think, for those that are going to join us, I know he feels your pain.
Yeah, I
He
just
feels
want to
it.
make sure. Look, I broke it into 5 segments. It's an hour and 15
Yeah.
minutes. That's five 15-minute segments. Keep it
He
interesting.
already lost me.
I know. I get it. Trust me. I'm telling you what we're
Mhm.
doing. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm all for it. So we do have that. That is the 22nd. And then the 23rd, we have two Get Haunted events going on at the same time. We have the collab with Flimmery and also Seeking Ghost with A&L, with Al and Leah. They will be our guest paranormal team on top of the Flimmery Promotions event company and Get Haunted coming together for really a night of truly the paranormal community. Everybody coming together, working together, getting to know guests that have chosen this particular event at Mid Orange Correctional Facility right there in Warwick, New York. Super excited to do that one. Um, and then we also have the Haunted Shanley Hotel going on at the same time, and you will probably see some lives here and there. We've got, we want to connect. We want to do a little bi-locational experiment and see if we can get some activity kicked up that way. And then that's it for September. I think you have the last weekend off. I think.
No.
No, you don't. You do not, because then you are doing something special that is not a Get Haunted event. It is a special Cash Town Inn event that Get Haunted is going to help sort of provide the paranormal side. And then World's Largest Ghost Hunt, Lord Baltimore Hotel. It's like, yeah, who thought of this? This is nuts.
And that week, we've been invited to not one, not
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
not three, but all four networks to be on the news for on all four networks. In I don't know, I don't know what to do. Right? I don't know what to do. Um,
Yeah.
so Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I hope I make it through the rest of this month. Then
You will.
October, I think we slow down. So yeah, I'll be coming back off of our big weekend in New York, and it looks like either headed straight to. Yeah, I can't do that. They're going to have to move it anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah, the following week
Yeah.
is impact.
Yeah, and we do slow down. October 20th, we have Heartstuff Hall, which is super awesome. That
Oh, yeah.
was our first time there with the Matt Warner and his Warner Paranormal and Preservation Society. And then the 21st is a special Conjuring House birthday celebration for Rob. He has done some invite only, and that sold out like that. You you were actually shocked how quick everybody jumped on that. You were like, I
Yeah,
don't think
I
anybody's
expect
gonna go. And the next thing you know, like everybody said yes.
didn't expect that
So
one.
yeah.
Yeah, we have that.
And White Hill as well on the 21st
We had something else though, Sarah. Then we have the
in
Warren.
October.
We have the Warren Paracon,
That is on the
and
28th.
Phantasmacon,
That's the Warren Paracon. Yep.
and then we have East Coast Paranormal Expo, November.
That is November 5th. Yep.
I think the night before we're doing a ghost hunt there. I don't know what's happening. It's hard.
Did I say it wrong? It's
Yeah,
heart stuff.
you did. It's Heartsuff. HARTSUFF.
Heart stuff.
Heart.
I will take some articulation classes.
Heartsuff. Not
Yes,
heart
heart.
stuff. Heart
I
stuff.
didn't say heart stuff. Heart stuff. Anyway, so we are sort of winding down a little bit for our events, but I promise you, Get Haunted isn't slowing down in the paranormal and in the network. So please do not think that after that it is going to be boring or that there's nothing going on. Oh, I promise you it's not. I do want to touch really quickly on you probably saw the announcement. Get Haunted has handed over all bookings to Enfield House. They are on their own. It was always a temporary situation. They were ready to go in a different direction, and they are handling all bookings any date. I believe I saw something. All dates are open every day. I don't know. It's out of our hands. So we hope that you continue to support this location. They are taking, I believe, if you can either DM them at the Enfield Demon House through Facebook, or you can email them at hauntingenfieldct@yahoo.com. That is the way that you will book. So Get Haunted is no longer handling any of their bookings. If you have questions, if you have booked with them, you need to contact Enfield personally. Get Haunted has no hand in this. So good luck to Enfield and their new journey that they are taking on their own. Or to whoever is helping them. We wish you guys the most success. So if you guys have any questions on the side, I don't know if they're going to move forward with the project. I know that we don't have any say in the 1771 Enfield project. That was an idea that we came up with, but if they move forward with that, I don't know. That is something you'd have to talk to them about. So just so you guys know, let's see, outside of that, there was something I saw here that I wanted to touch on.
No, I don't think so. But John, I want to talk to you, offline if we can, about Lord Baltimore. I have a couple questions. So you used to work there? I didn't know. That's so cool.
And it's a great location. Like Bill last year had that one up for us for the world's largest ghost hunt, and they said it was a great location and it was a great success. So excited to hear.
Right?
This is what I wanted to.
It's for charity. So yeah, really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sarah. You can answer that one, boss.
So yes, we do have a live interactive who right now in the works for October 14th. So keep your eyes open for that. A location that I don't think many or any of you have heard of. So we're super excited about that. Just a little live interaction. And what else? Yes, it is. We're happy for them. It gives them the freedom to do what they want to do and how they see fit. And we were there simply to support them. And you know what? Sometimes it ends when it ends, and you just wish everybody good stuff. That's what we do here. We want them to have the best experience ever. And so we hope that is what they get from Sunday on, right? That's all we can wish for. So yeah, it certainly does put something else on our plate, though. I promise you that was not that we just can't help ourselves.
Yeah,
We just
we have a lot of good, a lot more. The food is waiting to be piled onto the plate. There's a lot of cool things in the works. We say this every show,
yeah.
but there are things coming. Trust us.
Yeah, always things coming, and it's a lot of fun, and it really is all about every single one of you guys. So guys, thank you always for your support. We like to keep very busy. We are working on our 2024 season. We have some amazing ideas, I think I would like to state, um, to keep these events for each and every one of you, to keep them interesting, to keep you growing, to keep us growing. We have some really cool ideas on how we'd like to see 2024 look event wise. And as Rob always says, we want to hear from you as well. It is about you. So as investigators, as event, lovers, let us know, what would you love to see implemented? Because this is what the network is. It's about everybody's ideas coming to life. So always please feel free to jump in and let us know. So yeah, we don't want to forget that we still have just a few more events left, and I am super excited of the upcoming weekend of the 22nd and 23rd. Hopefully the ick moves in and moves out. And if I'm sick, clearly I won't get everybody else sick. I won't force myself on everybody, but I think I'm going to be fine. I think I'll be fine by next week. And I'm not worried about it. So yes, I know we are so looking forward. Mike, we're going to make sure that Two Brothers and that this blonde is at the same events. We're going to do this. It's going to be fun. Everybody has had time to hang out with Two Brothers Extreme, and I want to say I'm so excited to meet them in person. Kaylee, yes, this last location that a few of our crew got together, and they're working hard together to be the best investigators at your events. They're working together on all sorts of things. It's one thing that I really truly love about our crew. They're working here on communication and on ideas on how to communicate better with you during events. And this was one of those things put together by two of our crew, Danny and Kara, at New Egypt Museum. That is where in New Jersey? I know it's by White Hill, but it's not Fieldsboro, is it?
No, it's New Egypt
No,
Historical Society. Fine. You're gonna really ask me what
I
town
know.
it is?
I know. I know. You
Here,
know
I'll
what?
tell you. It's in Plumstead.
Plumstead, New Jersey,
Yes,
right?
Plumstead.
Plumstead. So it got a lot of high marks from the crew that were there. They all had some crazy experiences. They felt they were profound and excited to hear about it. I haven't had a chance to actually hear any of the stories. I've just kind of been watching some chats, and they were just blown away. So we love that. So we'll see. Well, thank you, Dee. We our efforts are for everybody. It's not just for ourselves. So yes, I'm excited. We've got stuff to finish up here for 2023, and then it is off to planning 2024. And you, Rob, have to, after a big weekend like last weekend and before a big weekend like next weekend, you have this weekend looming in front of you. So, be sure to get your rest, drink your water, keep your mind clear.
Drinking
Yes,
water.
I know. He actually cracked that open right before a show. And I was like, are you drinking water? Like, I don't know that I've ever seen a bottle of water in the 18, 19 months we've been working together ever grace your lips.
19. Get it right.
19. It was nuts. It's like you're drinking water. So he's preparing, folks, physically and mentally. He is preparing.
Yes, it's like that time I was in the Olympics.
Yes. Okay. What was your What was your category?
The, the javelin.
Was it the javelin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the pole vault. I did too.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you're humble. I mean,
Well,
don't
I'm
want to brag
Polish.
about it.
Polish. I had to do the pole vault.
Yes. And how did you fare?
It wasn't pretty.
No, you
Just
didn't take
silver.
home any.
Just silver. You can look it up.
Okay.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes. That's actually
Yeah.
that is the next shirt. I think that Stacy just came up with our next shirt. Thank you, Stacy.
We've had so many shirt ideas, I feel like in the last week. It's been like, are you guys a stack stalker? That's the
Oh,
next
stack
one.
stalkers. Yeah, we had that.
Yeah. We have stack stalkers. And we still have to give away a side piece t-shirt, folks.
Side piece comes next week.
Yeah.
We'll
Because
give
you've
away.
had so much time. You've had so much time. You barely had to. And then, the time he does have, then I go down. I just, it's like, oh my God, but I powered through yesterday.
She did.
And
I yelled at her
today
to go sleep, rest.
mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
But
I didn't.
there are
And then,
here's the truth, and I could share the I won't, but I could share the insights to, at least on Facebook, when Sarah's sick or away from the computer, our numbers just, you can see this big old drop happening. So
yeah, well, and I do want to touch on this. Since I've got everybody's attention. So we did have a private group called PUP, the Paranormal Unification Project. I did make an announcement yesterday that particular group will sort of be phased out. That doesn't mean the project is over. I'm just sort of moving it over to the network because it kind of felt like I was doing double work. So many of you are answering in the network, that I'm going to take some thoughts and ideas, and I want to hear your voices. And so you might have seen a post yesterday evening go out called the Get Haunted Network Real Talk. When you see that come up, that is pretty much a offshoot of PUP. It's really not. It's sort of bringing it back to the network. I want to hear everybody's voice. This stuff only works when we all work together. So all of your voices are so important to this. So we're sort of starting on picking a corner, and we're going to just sort of take some subjects and we're going to talk about it. So when you see that, please participate. We do want to hear from you. So the project's not just over. We're not saying unification doesn't happen. It does happen. It's happening every day right there on the network. So I just thought, instead of keeping it private, we'll just bring it right to the network and we'll keep that shit public. Nothing to hide. Nothing to hide, right? Nothing to hide. So
not by me. Shit.
Nope. All right. Well, I think I'm probably, I can feel it in my throat. I am probably done. So we will let you guys go, but I'm going to make sure that Rob is set for this TerraCon. So if you guys are anywhere near Marlborough, Massachusetts, head on out. You can still get tickets. Go check out the TerraCon page. Find out how you can get your tickets, meet all these fabulous people, and meet Get Haunted. Why wouldn't you want to? You totally want to. Are you ready for this, Rob?
Yeah. Meet me.
Yeah.
Meet Lori.
Okay.
Meet Brittany.
Yeah.
Meet Bill.
Kevin.
I don't know.
Meet
Yeah,
Bill,
Kevin be there like one day. I think Saturday.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
He's still gonna be there, so you can still meet
All right,
him.
but not as much as everybody else. So he doesn't.
Okay, but I think Bill
any
can
hugs.
be there like one day.
All
So
right.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. She's schooling you.
Why? Okay. I will move it. D-Hoo.
Thank you, D-Hoo. We appreciate that observation.
That was nice of
We
you.
appreciate that.
Uh,
But guys, really, seriously, like always, we see you, we hear you, we appreciate you, and we certainly love you. Thank you for always being that support that Get Haunted. We have to have support, or else the network just doesn't work, right?
yeah, yeah. Thanks for supporting us.
Yeah.
Lots of
You
respect.
tell. I'm getting tired. I'm like, all right. We love you, Sandy, and we love you, Steve. Steven, do you prefer Steven over Steve? I feel like it needs to be Steven, right?
No,
When we
it's
speak to
Steve.
him,
It's
it's
Steve.
Steve.
Yeah, come
Oh,
on.
okay. Yeah. Trevor, we love you. You have a great day, Dee Dee.
Oh,
Um,
Dee Dee.
yeah, guys, and oh wait, another thing I want to mention. Next week, please check out the P3 shows because I think right now there may be 3 out of the 7 that will be connecting one location in their own style and their own aspects. It's going to start with Unturned Pages, having Candy Slater on, talking about Rock Island, the haunted Rock Island YMCA. Dee Dee and I are picking up as well that particular location and taking a topic from that location, and we're going to highlight it in our style. And I believe Trevor, We the Haunted, will also maybe pick up an aspect of that. So, kind of a cool way for 1 week to talk about one location, many different aspects because everybody sees something different. So it could be a team, a piece of history. It could be all sorts of cool things. So check that out next
Yeah.
week.
Super cool.
Yeah. Super cool, right? Super cool.
Super.
You so cool. You have a great day, Mike Cronin. So with that, I'm going to get the marching orders for the rest of today from Rob, or I'll give them. I don't know. Am I
She'll
giving
give
them
them.
or I'm giving them?
I don't. Please do not make it sound like I give out the orders every day. I'm like with my little notebook, like, all right, Sarah, what do I need to do today?
Yeah. So we'll make sure he's staying busy before he heads out to Massachusetts. Guys, if you need anything from us, you know you can reach out to us anytime, either through DMing us on Facebook through Get Haunted or info@gethaunted.com. That is how you can get in touch with us. What are you doing? I'm watching
I
you.
don't know. And seek with your soul. We're doing it tomorrow night, right?
We are, unless I go down hard between
Yeah.
now and then.
Yeah.
I
As
think
long
we're
as
going to be
Sarah's
okay.
not dying and snotting everything up, we will be there.
Yes, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, on the Get Haunted pages. Seek with your soul. Let's continue the deep conversations into why we paranormal the way we paranormal. It's been interesting so far, and we're not stopping. So come join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. All right, guys, have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of your week, and we will talk to you guys every Wednesday at 1 p.m. All right.
All right.
We outie. All right. Bye.
Bye.